I suppose we have to go in this constant loop, don't we, of trying to work out who's available to play for you in recent weeks. Is there any good news on the horizon in terms of availability? I'm aware that the longer term ones will be being assessed and stuff, but is anybody back out there involved in training and sort of ready to go for you?
Yeah, so we've got Conor Grant and obviously Luke Butterfield will be back. Obviously Josh Woods is training but still suspended, I think. So yeah, got a couple back, which is good. We're obviously missing Donald, aren't we? So we've got 2 back, 1 out. And then we've got the ones that you've just mentioned, which is good Isaacs. Sinclair, Liam Coyle and Tyler Walton are all running really well, so we'll see what happens next.
To have a couple of midfield options back, this is absolutely no disrespect to Seamus Keneally, but where he is in his career, it's so much of an ask to ask him to start 3 games in a week. How important is it to have midfield options back in there?
It's massive, Dan. So you've just touched on that, which we're aware of ourselves, and that we try and look after Seamus the best way we can, and to ask him to do what you've just spoke about there is a big ask at his age, but when he does go out and you're asking him to do it, he gives you everything, and he did last week, and he's been, I think this season he's played really, really well and performed really well, and not just on the pitch, but the way he conducts himself off the field as well, and with the younger lads and bringing them on as well, he's been class.
You mentioned Donald Love there and being suspended. We spoke briefly after the Bromley game, and I think it was pretty clear that the footage could have been read one way or the other.
Yeah.
Have you had to have a conversation, not just with Donald, but with the players as a whole, about not giving officials the opportunity to make decisions like that, not putting themselves in that position?
That's it. Don't put yourself in that position. But yeah, we have had the chat. It's disappointing in terms of if you want to go and analyse the red cards. I'm not a referee. I'm not a linesman or AR assistant referee. So I just want them to do the job, and they make decisions. They live and die by them, and they'll get them right or wrong. And I think some of them, in my opinion, have been wrong. And we know that they've been wrong, but you've just got to get on with it because there's nothing else you can do. So you can't just keep going on about it and keep waffling on about it and feeling sorry for yourself. You just got to do what you can do, which is the next thing, is the next game, and the next game's Cambridge.
And I guess the key message there is there's a difference between making a tackle, which is part of the game, and possibly being penalised harshly, and doing something you didn't need to do, whether that's leading with an arm or whether that's standing, putting your foot down, whatever it may be.
Well, the 2 things you just mentioned is exactly what's happened in certain red cards. So the red cards you don't mind is, if someone's, sort of got to commit a foul to stop someone from scoring a goal or something, so you'll take that one because it's for the team. And and that has happened to Josh Woods, I think, early on the season against, was it Doncaster maybe in the cup or something? It was one of the cup games, and he's done that, and he got himself sent off then. So there's ways of going about it. I think the Donald one last week, you've only got the one footage. I think I've never seen any other footage where it's gone out for the goal kick. As I said, I didn't see it at the time. I've seen the footage now where there's nowhere for him to go when he steps over Cheek. So I don't know if he has caught him. It looks like he has. So he's give the AR something to think about, or definitely a decision to get made, which him and the referee come up with the red card. So it was a difficult one, but after 14 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever that is, and that happens, then you put yourself on the back foot, the whole team. So he knows he's let the team down. He's apologised for that, and you've just got to move on. And I think moving on and going forward in that game, the lads gave everything, didn't they? So, as I said, Bromley threw everything at us in open play, and we defended stoutly. It was really, really good. The other end, Dave gets his first goal. Dave Abimbola, which is really good for him. He put a shift in up top by himself, and we just didn't get over the line then. But you're going back to the situations that's happened before that, the games where you're losing players, your Shrewsbury's. Well, it's not a level playing field, the games that we've played when we haven't got our full team out for all them reasons. So that's really, really disappointing. But as I said, it's like, I don't want to look too far back. We know what's happened, we know the reasons why. We're disappointed with some of them, but we have to move forward.
Having spoken to a few players after these recent games that you've lost in the circumstances you've described, the message coming from them has been, we've set our standards and our standards are higher than what we've produced. There are mitigating circumstances, but we've got to get back to that. Is that something that's being discussed in-house within your changing room.
Yeah, but it's got to be a level playing field. So what you've said about the plays that we've missed is then you play them 3 games that we played. You know, the Shrewsbury game, they scored after 30 seconds and then camped in. So we had chances that we didn't take, but we were asking lads to go again and play again and again. And there is fitness levels within the camp, but it's tough. Other teams are rotating and chopping and changing and stuff like that. You go to Barnet game, you play that game again. Not a level playing field in terms of what we had out, and that was probably 0-0 written all over it. Ollie made saves, their keeper made saves, the lads defended, we defended, they defended, and then you know they've nicked one near the end of the game if you like. So you then go to Bromley, you've got 2 back, and then that happens. So you know we've got to look after ourselves. We want to get back to what we were. We want to get back to everyone, you know, fit, well, not suspended. And then see the best version of us on the pitch.
You mentioned Bromley there, obviously going to the league leaders last week. You're playing another team in the automatic promotion mix this week. You're actually playing the best defence in the division in terms of goals conceded in Cambridge United. How tricky is it going to be? What do you have to do to break down a team that's only conceded 20-odd goals all season?
Well, you have to be at your best, don't you? But you have to have your best players on the pitch as well, so that's another thing. But you know, again, we'll put a team out there that'll compete and represent Accrington in the right way. And, you know, we know we're going to create chances. It's about taking them. So we've got to make sure we've got a game plan. We'll come up with that. You know, you go back to when we played them down there. You know, we went down there and, you know, you look at it, again, that wasn't in our point of view and for reasons being like, you know, Devon Matthews wasn't playing that day. His wife was having a baby or had a baby at the time. Farron Rawson woke up sick on the day. We had to play Seamus Keneally at centre-back. So it was like square pegs and round holes that day for us. But the performance they put on and how they went about it was brilliant. So, you know, I think at the time, thinking back, I think Cambridge, I think it was Gibbons scored one from the edge of the box where it's come out and it's the second phase and he's knocked it in. Free shot. And then I think they've scored in the second half where I think it was, don't know whether it was Surrey, someone's got across the Seamus, the near post, and scored to make it 2-0 or whatever it was at the time. But we lost the game, but again, we give a good count of ourselves against a very, very good side. Neil's got his team, you know, they've on an unbelievable run. I think they're unbeaten in 5 at the minute now. The last game they lost, I think, was away to Harrogate. So they're all tough games in this league. They've got the best defensive you just touched on there. Really, really good side. Like the way they play, like the way they work. They've all know the roles and responsibilities within the system. They've got good players that can aid in certain areas. And as I said, Neil's got them set up really well and they're going really, really well.
How much do you enjoy testing yourself against these top teams in the division? Is it a bit of a sort of benchmark for where you want to be? Yeah, well, that's where you want to be, isn't it? So I know it's you know, you can throw everything else into the mix in terms of what we've got and what we haven't got. But we put a team out there that represents me and Jed Brannan, represents this club and the fans. And you want them to compete and you want them to actually try and win a game. And that's the setup and that's what we try and do. And that's what we'll be doing Saturday. But we know the task. To sit in second of the league for a reason, as I said, for all the reasons that I've just spoke about. And with the personnel situation, with all those that you've been missing and continue to miss, how much of an example does David Abimbola set coming in at Bromley, getting his first goal, leading the line so well? The players just have to seize the opportunity they're being given. They have to, and that's sometimes where the opportunity comes that way. So, you know, he's done that, and he's led the line by himself, by the way, as well, from the, you know, whatever, 70, 80 minutes onwards. So, after that, I should say. So he's done really, really well, and his goal was really great. His all-round performance was good. You know, people had good things to say about him. You know, the Bromley manager had good things to say about him as well. So he's took his opportunity, and you know, we'll see what tomorrow brings.